gotta do is add one more note to the blues scale and move around in a stumbling and unpredictable manner. Hey, I'm Eric Haugen. Check the description box below for tabs and backing tracks on my website, information about exactly what sound tools I'm using today, live streams, every backing track I've ever made, scale charts, that stuff is on Patreon, and if you want to spend a lot of time with me, I make very long, comprehensive deep dive courses. It's all on my website. First, let's just talk about playing out, or playing skronky, or playing dissonant. Is something I like to do a lot, and there's different ways to do it. There's like shapes that get passed down from guitar teacher to guitar student, like this one. I don't even know what you call this one. There's that thing you'll see people do. There's also the thing of playing the quote-unquote wrong scale against another key that some people are very good at. I don't really do that. What I like to do is lean on the dissonant notes that are already in the key. We're actually jamming over, a funny version of Tom Petty, Refugee. Y'all know I love Tom Petty. So it's F sharp minor. And by the way, playing skronky, playing dissonant, playing out. For me, subjectively, I like to do this more on minor key songs than I do on major key songs. It's a whole different sort of thing I'm going to do to a major key song if I want to make it weird or out. So this is specifically for making minor key songs sound even more sinister and strange. We got minor pentatonic. Let's add the flat 5 to make it a proper blues scale. And honestly, even just adding that one note does a lot. The sinister, evil nature of the flat 5 is a powerful thing. I find this to be true again and again with music, that you add one thing, one note changes everything. Okay, so that's actually still just a blues scale. Nothing too weird there. The one more note I like to add is the 9th. Or you could call it the 2nd. There's the G sharp there. That is one of the biggest deals right there, that secret note. So it's not fully a minor scale, and it's no longer a blues scale. Interesting. That note, compared to the flat 5, there's something about the 9th degree of the scale. It has like a questioning quality to it. It sounds like, I don't know. It just feels that way. So combined with the flat 5, things get a little bit jazzy, but they're staying sinister. Now, the real way to kind of get that Mark Ribot, skronky, dissonant thing happening, I've thought about this a lot. I've made several videos about this by now. I think the simplest way is to move around in intervals greater than a fifth. So if we don't know about intervals, I have a video about that. I do think that they are the thing that's behind everything. So that opening lick, but if you think about it, I'm really just going down the scale. But then with below each of those main tones, that's a major 7. And then so if I went back one note, So I'm moving the scale, each note down one. And then the other main principle. So if to review, we added one note to the blues scale, the ninth. We're going to be moving in intervals greater than a fifth, because that gives you that falling down the stairs kind of effect, like you stumbled this way and then you stumbled that way. The other thing is you don't want to just do that, because that would be 100% discordant, shocking. So you attach to it a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a more comfortable, safe blues lick. So the end of that is a blues lick. So that whole first thing, we have the quote unquote out or dissonant part. And then okay, that's enough weirdness. Now let's put a blues lick there. And that's true always. Whenever you're combining scales or doing something new, I think it's a cool way to work, to do things that way. Blues lick and then the weird thing, or the weird thing and then a blues lick. That way it sounds comfortable. You kind of have that effect of there's the surprise, but then there's the part that you're comfortable with, and so on and so forth. It's good writing. Okay, the next lick is again leaning on just the dissonant notes in the key. This is sort of referencing the Dickie Betts stutter trick I talk about from time to time. There's that thing, but I kind of made it shorter. Because, yep, there's the ninth, there's the flat five. And just repeating that phrase. So yeah, we have the weird part leaning heavily on the flat five and the ninth. Again, the flat five is the sinister, macabre note. The ninth is the jazzy question mark. So we're leaning on those. And then that was enough weirdness. So let's just put a blues lick in there. Wait, I have to do the whole phrase. That's a quick one. That's a jazz lick. I like that part. Whole thing again. And then a little walk out. Blues. Cool. And now, because this is Tom Petty Refugee, it does go to a D chord. It don't really matter to me, baby. Anyway, so I did a walk down. Then it goes to a B major. Hence, here's a B. That's cool. That's just looking, that at that point I'm playing to changes, so I'm leaving, some of the rules here, but we'll talk. Then I get to a good lick at the end. Open strings, drones, that creates, that still creates some dissonance and friction there. And then, it's the end of the solo. General rule for solos, just so you know, you tend to start kind of low and spacious and you end high and crowded. That's a very good way if you're playing live to get people in the audience to go, woo! Don't start high and fast. Then you have nowhere to go. Anyway, so then we have this jangly dissonant lick. Of course, we have F sharp minor pentatonic way up here. Of course, F sharp blues. And then, you do some unison bends with letting that open E in, which, that will work in that chord. And it's okay if it's not right, because you kind of actually want the flat five and the five and that seven. That's that sound, that dissonant, stabby, shocking sound. Like you could try and do it sweet. That would be okay too, but I purposely just shook as Bob Ross would say, shook the devil out of it. And then, kind of closed it out with, you come out of it. There's that ninth again, and that big leap. So to review, you get your blues scale. You add the ninth. That's that one. That one, because, as I've said previously, intervals are really the thing. If you really know what an interval sounds like and feels like, that's a lot of magical power underneath your fingers, because you know what stuff is going to sound like when you go for it. Scales are no longer just dots to me. I know every interval that I'm playing. Means a lot to me what I play. I can't play fast, but I know what I mean to say, and it's very satisfying when what I think I hear in my head comes out of my fingers. Now, interval leaps greater than a fifth. What I always say to practice things is groove it so you can use it. So of course you could work on this solo, fun little solo to work on, but do a bar of grooving. Notice, I should have said this earlier. Those leaps greater than a fifth, they're very rhythmical. They're actually popping really hard with the syncopation. Because, well, actually, let's see what happens if I do leaps greater than a fifth, but don't really do them in any sort of rhythmic kind of figure. They should sound bad, but sometimes I think something's going to sound bad and then it doesn't. I think that was still in rhythm, wasn't it? Yeah, that's something to watch out for. That if you just jump around but not kind of with a specific rhythm, it's gonna fall apart, maybe more than you want it to, although it did sound kind of cool. Could work in the mix. There's no right or wrong. This is actually though what I think about when people are like, hey, I got this minor key thing. Can you do some of that Mark Ribot stuff? I'm like, yeah, I don't play out. I'm actually playing in, but I'm using the tones in the key in a deceivingly discordant way. Does that make sense? Sorta. Now, let's just talk a little bit about this cool Soloway S14 guitar. Alaskan float spruce top. It's really cool. This is very old spruce that was like, I guess when they would log back, I don't know how long ago, they would float the logs down the river, and I guess people go and they harvest those. So that's what this top is. It's steam bent, which is really cool. It's completely hollow except for a block under the bridge here. Can we see that? Cedar back. It actually, it smells really nice. Cedar back, roasted maple neck, Lindy Fralin humbuckers, ebony fretboard, 12-inch radius. I think it feels like 6105 frets. It feels really good to play. Sellaway is retired now, so he did sell the company to, well, a North Carolina brand. So these are now made in my home state to very high spec, and he was consulted and sent a prototype and checked off on everything. So I know that some people are like, but these aren't an original. They are real nice though. All right, that's all we got to talk about for today. Thanks so much to everybody who supports me in all the ways that you do. Like, subscribe, and share. That stuff costs you nothing and helps people like me out immensely. One more time, how my business works. Patreon is where we have live streams, every backing track I've ever made, and scale charts. And then there's my deep dive courses that I make in partnership with the folks at Truefire.com. As Bill and Ted would say, be excellent to each other. That includes yourself. Happy Friday. Eat pizza.